Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome back to another rendition of the Bros and the Berg podcast. I'm your co-host, Ryan Doyle. I'm joined by the other gentleman in the dark-colored hat. They're both wearing them tonight. Mr. Robert Bergstone. And the gentleman in the glasses, the handsome one of the group, that's our executive producer. That's the man who makes this show run, my younger brother, Connor Doyle. Folks, we got a banger of an episode here for you tonight. I've actually come prepared, stop the press.
Heavens.
Unlikely.
Alert,
Unlikely.
alert the fire department because I'm going to be bringing some heat to this debate. Connor, what are we starting with first tonight?
Ryan, as always, we're going to start with a little bit of football and specifically college football. Gentlemen, you know what? Let's rip the Band-Aid off now and let's just discuss it.
I don't want to talk about it.
I know you don't, but unfortunately, that's probably why people are here this week. The Alabama Crimson Tide falling to the Oklahoma Sooners in Tuscaloosa, no less. And, inevitably, I'll take the blame on this, gentlemen, because I made my pick last week, and I said, clip it when I'm wrong, and I was wrong.
I told you not to do that. I literally said don't do that.
So Oklahoma did end up taking this game 23-21. Alabama obviously now it's going to be dicey at the end of the season in terms of SEC championship aspirations and everything like that. So
SEC championship, not so much. We went out and we're still in most scenarios in.
Yeah.
I have been messing around. There are some situations where even if we were to beat Auburn, that we would not make it in. However, if the Vanderbilt Commodores can beat the Kentucky Wildcats this weekend,
okay,
and then Alabama beats Auburn, I've not found a way that Alabama does not get in that scenario.
Okay.
Not that it really matters, right?
It's interesting. I think it'll be a very interesting debate. So we'll talk about the game and then we'll get into college football playoff things when we get there. But less frustrating than losing to Oklahoma last year, maybe.
Was it? Because you're at home. Was it?
And it's a game that we dominated. Alabama dominated this football game outside of the 3 turnovers. You spot your opponent 17 points off turnovers. It's probably going to lose.
Right? I gotta go ask ChatGPT. Give me another example of a game where you doubled your opponent's yards and lost.
So I did see a stat. I don't remember who put it together, but they have an expected win percentage essentially based off your success rate, how well you're doing on offense and defense, all of those things. Yep. And if you just look at the stats, Oklahoma had a 0.4% chance to win this game.
Yep. That tracks. Yeah. That's what
that's now here's what I'll say. The pick 6, I don't think we showed enough that was potentially pass interference. Because if you saw the route, he was running a slant and he got cut off, not by the guy that made the pick. The guy that made the pick didn't interfere. But the other defender on our receiver did stop him from running the route. Just saying.
TikTok clip, Alabama fan.
Coping. I'm coping. Frustrating loss. I think the good thing is season is still in Alabama's hands. You went out, you're still going to be in the college football playoff, which is great, but it's a frustrating one. We got Venables just owns us.
Apparently,
truly. My cousin said we have Alabama has an Oklahoma problem. It's no, we have a Brett Venables problem.
And we've had one. Yeah, because in the first half they were talking about Ty was doing a great job of picking up on the blitzes, getting the ball out fast, all those things. We got it second half, and that just fell apart because Venables made the changes he needed to, and we didn't.
Yeah.
So that's frustrating.
Our last 4 drives where we just need a touchdown to go ahead, we got 57 yards. I mean, the Oklahoma defense just traveled to Knoxville. They played well against Tennessee. They traveled to Tuscaloosa. Much more impressive Oklahoma team than I expected after losing to Texas in the Red River rivalry.
Were you impressed by them? I wasn't impressed by the offense. The offense is a
defense.
I don't know what happened
to the offense.
I don't know what happened to John Mateer. He looked bad.
Yeah, he's kind of fallen off, but apparently their defense is good enough to win them multiple games.
Yep.
So, Texas is dead in the water now with Oklahoma winning. That's Texas fans are coping.
Yeah. And Oklahoma's not out of the weeds yet. I mean, you have Missouri and LSU left, both at home. But those are 2 losable games.
Absolutely.
They're not. I wouldn't pick them to lose either game, but they are definitely losable games.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
this be interesting.
This game also marks Kalen DeBoer's first home loss. So his first home loss of his
The
tenure.
hoodie streak is broken.
Sad. Does he keep going with the hoodie, or can he wear something new now? Do you think he changes it up?
A little suit action.
Can I get odds on Kalen DeBoer in the red polo for the Iron Bowl?
Okay,
What are my odds on that?
Yeah, you should check it out. But I will say, gentlemen, because obviously you're talking about Alabama winning out, I do have to remind both of you that before the season started, you guys both said this feels like a year that Auburn gets in the Iron Bowl. You both did go on record saying
it absolutely can.
Are you worried about that?
Yes, terrified.
I'm glad that they fired Hugh Freeze like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
But they don't have Cadillac Williams like roaming around the sidelines to get him fired up this time, which is good. But no, I'm still worried. It's also a night game in Jordan Hare, which is
I said this. It's a night game. It's to have Auburn be bowl eligible. It's to make Alabama miss the college football playoff. There's a lot of things that are going into the pot for Jordan Hare voodoo, which we don't love.
Also, Alabama is 1-4 since 2007 in night games of Jordan Hare.
No, it's
great.
the recipe is there, so that's why tied by 90. Flip it on its head.
I'm going to be vomiting that entire game. Like, I'm just going to be sick
on
to my
the
stomach
toilet
the entire game. I'm not going to be able to enjoy that game at all. There's no way.
So moving on from that game, we'll talk about a few of the other big ranked matchups. Obviously, we'll stick in the SEC right now. We'll talk about it. I think unsurprising to the people on this podcast, but maybe not so much to the more general audience. Georgia taking the game 35-10 over Texas. Not really much of a surprise. Like, I think we all knew that Kirby Smart would completely suffocate suffocate Arch Manning. You know, obviously they tried to figure it out with screen passes last week. Kirby saw that coming into this game. Like you guys said, he was going to make those adjustments. I didn't see a way in which the Texas's offense was ever going to be able to keep them in this game. So
here's my take. Georgia's the best team in college football.
Over Ohio State.
Look at the common opponent, Connor. They struggled to beat Texas
3
when
months
Arch
apart.
Yeah, but the Arch was considerably worse in that game in Columbus than he is now. That was when Arch still had the yips, and they still beat him by a touchdown.
I don't know if you can say that about week one, because week one opponents are not the same as opponents at this point.
But wouldn't you say this Texas team is better than it was in week one? I would.
Yeah.
They're playing better than they were the first couple weeks of the season. There's no doubt about that.
But you don't think Ohio State's the same way? Like, I think they're significantly better than they were in week one.
How would you know? Is the question.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, Ohio State has like kind of slept walk since Illinois.
Their schedule is terrible.
I mean, I don't even know if I can say they slept walk because they've just beaten the piss out of everyone. But like, they haven't played anyone good.
I didn't realize
the only ranked team they're going to end up with at the end of the season on their schedule is probably Michigan and Texas, and then I guess Indiana in the Big Ten championship game.
Well, Illinois was ranked when they played them,
but they're not going to be ranked. I don't care about where they're ranked when you play them. It matters where they're ranked at the end of the season to me.
Yeah, but like Penn State, like
correct. Exactly. Yeah, Oregon. College Football Playoff Committee saying that Oregon gets credit for beating Penn State when they were ranked highly is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. Did you see that?
I don't think I did.
The chairman said that like they still get credit for that being a good win because Penn State was so highly ranked at the time of the matchup.
I mean, it's tough environment, whiteout, right? Going to Happy Valley, it's going to be hard regardless of like how good Penn State is, but like they've also lost 6 games, so we just can't.
They did win their first Big Ten game though. Shout out Penn State.
There you go. Yeah, for real. Going over to, there are 2 more ranked matchups for this past weekend. We had Notre Dame visiting Pitt. Notre Dame did come out on top 37-15. I thought this was going to be that trap game.
Connor, I don't know what we were thinking. Like I didn't see Pat Narduzzi, Pitt's coach, before the game happened, said this game doesn't really matter for us. Like our path to playoff is winning the ACC.
Sure.
If I'd seen him say that before he did the pick'em, I probably wouldn't have picked Pitt because they played like this game didn't matter, which is dumb. But yeah,
I gotta say, man, I mean, after obviously the first 2 losses of the season, like Notre Dame's looked pretty good, and they only lost those 2 games by 4 points in total. So I mean, you gotta respect the Fighting Irish for what they've done so far.
I will also say I think Jeremiah Love needs considerably more Heisman attention.
Yes, yep,
like a lot more, because this Notre Dame team is not anywhere near the team it is without Jeremiah Love.
Yes.
This is probably a 4-loss Notre Dame team without Jeremiah Love.
Yeah, no, I don't think you're wrong. Going over to the last ranked on ranked matchup from this past weekend. Iowa was visiting USC. USC, the home team, did come out on top 26-21. USC, I feel like, is trying to slowly weasel their way up, and they've got another decent matchup this weekend. So if they pull that one out, things get interesting over there.
Here's the fun one. If USC beats Oregon, beats UCLA,
okay,
Ohio State loses to Michigan,
which is very possible.
If I'm not mistaken, we end up with a USC Indiana Big Ten championship.
Oh,
yeah, I need to go double check the tiebreakers, but I think that's right.
That is sicko. What the hell? Golly, that's crazy. That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, not much. I don't think necessarily to stay within this game. Iowa, I feel like, has kind of fallen out of any sort of, obviously real contention or anything like that. But it was a good win for USC, and obviously they've got a big matchup that we'll talk about against Oregon this weekend. So if they're able to pull one out, I mean, USC, they're an interesting team in terms of the playoff. There's definitely some feasibility there. Talking about some of the other ones, we'll go over some of the upsets from this past weekend. Let's go over to the ACC, gentlemen. Let's talk about Louisville is kind of bad now, or is everybody in the ACC just determined to beat each other and not?
I think they're all just bad.
I think they're all bad. Yeah, it's like the Big 12 except for Texas Tech. They're just all just bad. Yeah. So especially losing to Clemson, who obviously has not been very good this year. Louisville. I feel kind of bad for them, but they did lose in that Friday matchup against them. If I'm not mistaken, I thought there was one more.
One more we got to talk about.
Yes, South Florida did in fact lose at Navy, 41-38. So shout out Navy, but yeah, that's
also. Do none of the group of 5 teams want to make the college football playoff? Like, I think James Madison, as of right now, is the favorite.
They're trying,
but yeah. There's one more game we have to talk about, Connor. I think it might be the storyline of the weekend, or one of the bigger ones. South Carolina goes into the half up 30-0 on the third-ranked Texas A&M Aggies.
Yes, and
they proceed to lose the game 31-30,
putting up 31 unanswered points in the second half. Like,
what are we doing, Beamer? Like, I don't understand how you even let that happen.
From watching the game, did you think it was more Texas A&M just remembered who they were kind of thing, or do you think it was South Carolina completely let their foot off the gas? Which one?
The defense for sure let their foot off the gas. I think A&M's defense woke up a little bit. South Carolina's defense had Marcel Reed in a blender in that first half. Marcel Reed could have had 5 interceptions in the first half. They had dropped a couple more. Yeah. And then they just kind of stopped bringing pressure at him or doing anything, and just let him tear them up and down the field in the second half. After they scored the first touchdown with ease, after they got the ball in the second half, it felt like the comeback was going to happen, and it did. So
Robbie, to echo this point once again that you so brilliantly made on this podcast, yet another team losing by playing prevent defense during the last drive to give up a touchdown. You throw the 15-yard comeback route on the left side every time, and you just drive down the field. It's just like, what? Stop.
Why do we change what got you there?
Why do we change what you're doing?
Yeah. I understand I truly do understand not giving up the big play. Like, you don't want them to beat you deep. Like, I get that. There has to be a combination. There has to be a combination against playing 4 quarters, 25 yards downfield, and giving up everything underneath.
That works when you're up 2 scores. When you're up 2 scores, you don't want to give up the big play because you need them to burn time. That's fine. When you're up a score, even if it's like really tight on the timing, if they have at least 2 minutes left, you cannot play prevent defense.
These quarterbacks are too good. They can hit 15-yard outs in one-on-one man coverage
all day.
All day.
All day.
It's so frustrating to watch. I don't know. It's just like, why do you guys, to Ryan's point, if you are up 30 points going into the half, why are we changing it? Why are we changing what we're doing?
Now, I got to give Shane Beamer some credit for being confident. He said at this time next year, South Carolina will be talking about going to the college football playoff. So go and write that down in your notebook. Shane Beamer thinks they'll be better than 3-7 next year.
Absolutely.
We'll
I actually apologies. There was one more upset I wanted to talk about real quick. Arizona upsetting Cincinnati 30-24, 25th ranked Cincinnati. It's just another example of the Big 12, unfortunately, just not being very good this year.
outside Texas Tech. Because,
Outside of
boy.
Texas Tech, excuse me. No, Texas Tech is a good team. Texas Tech is a very good team. But outside of that, not much. And, we'll talk about it when we get there, but got to talk about my Oklahoma State Cowboys. Didn't come out with a win, but the second cover of the year, we'll take it.
Bro, what a stinker. 14-6 versus K-State. I mean, Connor, what did you say? You had 3 turnovers in the red zone?
I believe we fumbled the ball 3 times in the red zone, and they recovered it like every time. It was actually sick.
It was also like 7-6 like the entire game. Every time I checked the score, it was like 7-6. I'm like, what is happening?
What are we doing?
Oh my gosh, we're never going to win a game again. It's just never happening. But yeah, outside of that, that was pretty much the wrap up from this past weekend. Going over some of the college football top 25. There was some relatively significant shifts, I would say, within the poll this weekend. So I'll kind of go through some here. Top 10. I'll just read it from. I believe this is. Hold on, sorry. I want to make sure this is the most updated one. Did they release one on this past Tuesday?
Yeah,
correct?
it should be yesterday.
Well, sorry, I'm looking for it right now. For some reason, I had the wrong one up. Oh, November 18th. Hold on. Yeah, sorry. So top 25 here. I'll go from 10 to 1. I'll go. So at number 10, we have the Alabama Crimson Tide. Obviously, dropping a little bit after that loss to Oklahoma, but still a very good team. I don't think anybody's necessarily too surprised. Number 9, Notre Dame, as we said, obviously had the 2 losses at the beginning of the year, but I think they've relatively proven themselves through the year, and we'll see when it comes to because let's be real, Notre Dame's getting put in the playoff if they win out because the committee loves Notre Dame. So number 8, Oklahoma. I don't know, man. I'm still not a believer, I think, to Robbie's point, because of the offense. I'm not really there yet. Number 7, Oregon, obviously had a very good year in the Big Ten. Number 6, Ole Miss. Shout out Ole Miss, man. Another dangerous SEC team that I think has kind of come out of the woodwork a little bit. Number 5, you got Texas Tech, by far and away the best team in the Big 12. Number 4 is Georgia. To Robbie's point, maybe the best team in college football. I guess we'll see as the weeks progress. Number 3, Texas A&M, after holding on by a thread against South Carolina. Number 2, Indiana, who has just kind of run over everybody all year. So shout out them. And number 1, Ohio State, seems to be kind of perennially number 1 this year. Gentlemen, I saw a lot of people commentary online being frustrated that Texas was still at 17. I think people were a little like, should they really be ranked like
people
that?
are upset with them and Tennessee being ranked because neither of them have beaten anyone of note.
Exactly.
But I think they both have a couple ranked games still. Obviously, Texas travels to A&M.
Yeah.
At home against A&M, and then Tennessee, I think, has another ranked game. They have Vandy. So if they win those games, they deserve to be ranked. If they lose, they won't be ranked. So it'll work itself out. But
I also need to ask. I mean, a lot of people were also frustrated with Arizona State being ranked 25th ahead of James Madison. What do you guys think of that?
That's my Big 12 preseason champion, Arizona State. So let's have some fucking respect.
Some decorum.
just a little bit of decorum.
Speaking of, it sounds like Sam Leavitt is leaving Arizona State next year, and is also looking like their coach, Dillingham, may also be looking for greener pastures next year, which would be interesting. He's an alum, so that'd be interesting. But if LSU comes knocking, you probably take that job if Lane doesn't take it. So we'll see.
All right, we're going to move on to our Week 13. Golly, man, the year is flying by. Our Week 13 preview for college football. We're going to get to our pick'em and our Superdogs. Robbie, would you like to
We didn't even talk about James Franklin, man.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Should we have a quick coaching carousel discussion real quick? Because there's a lot going on in the coaching carousel already, which is crazy.
Yeah. Obviously, in this past week, James Franklin got hired by Virginia Tech, which I developed significantly faster than honestly I kind of expected it to. Not necessarily from Virginia Tech side, but I was kind of shocked that Franklin made that decision so fast to take that job.
Connor, what would you have said if someone came to you 2 months ago and told you that in 2 months James Franklin would be the head coach of Virginia Tech?
I would have been like, why? How? Where?
It's crazy. It's crazy.
No, it's yeah. So I don't know. Ryan, did you have any specific thoughts on it? Just bringing it up.
One week you're in overtime against the number 2 or 3 team in the nation. 15 days later you're canned, and then you're coaching in Blacksburg next year. I don't know. The absolute roller coaster for Franklin.
Here's the thing to me is I do think this is a good hire for Virginia Tech.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But so does everyone else anywhere, which makes me feel like it's not going to work out. Like if everyone is so confident it's going to be good, I feel like it's not. I don't know why. Now, Virginia Tech can absolutely compete in the ACC in its current state with a good head coach, but I guess we'll see.
I don't know, man. I guess we will. Yeah, to your point, we'll see.
I mean, you're thrilled as a Hokie fan, right?
It's I think it's the best hire you could have made if you're Virginia Tech, 100%. I don't think there's anyone else out there that's a better hire.
Agreed. I mean, obviously, this year we haven't really seen a lot in terms of actually coaches getting hired. It's more so been on the firing side. But just to quickly, because ESPN does have a little thing real quick. So Kent State hired Mark Carney, which he was apparently promoted from interim coach. Shout out Kent State for making that decision. But I mean, it's just been a lot of firing. Obviously, Arkansas, Oklahoma State, UCLA, Stanford, Oregon State, Colorado State, UAB, Penn State, LSU. Florida, Auburn. It's just like huge programs.
The domino we're waiting to see fall right now is where does Lane Kiffin coach next year?
I love that Ole Miss is getting him like you gotta make a decision. So like you gotta stop because we got so many like recruits and everything that we're dealing with. Like we have got to figure this out.
So if you're not up to date, Lane Kiffin has taken trips with his family to both Baton Rouge and Gainesville to be the coach of either LSU or Florida. Has apparently not made any type of decision yet. Ole Miss, like Ryan mentioned, is not happy that Lane Kiffin has not made a decision yet and has apparently given him an ultimatum to make a decision by the Egg Bowl. But, like, what can they really do? Like, if Lane Kiffin gets to the Egg Bowl and is like, yeah, I guess I'll keep coaching Ole Miss, and then afterwards decides to go elsewhere, like, you can't do anything.
Yeah.
They're not going to fire him because he didn't make a decision by the Egg Bowl. So it kind of feels a little toothless to me.
Sure.
The other hot name on the coaching trail right now is John Sumrall, who's the head coach at Tulane. Auburn fans were convinced yesterday that he was going to be the next head coach at Auburn. There were some reports today that he was taking a trip to Gainesville to meet with Florida as well. There's been some conflicting reporting on that. This is my favorite time of the year between the flight tracking and like conference championship, like shenanigan tiebreakers. Favorite time of the year. But so that's probably this next biggest domino fall after Lane. I actually think that Ole Miss would probably go after Sumrall as well if Lane were to leave for one of those two jobs. But we'll see. I think it's going to be very, very interesting. And it's crazy that this is happening when we're not even in the college football playoff yet.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So in terms of the coaching carousel, as we'll call it, that kind of wraps it up. So Robin, you want to move us into our pick'em and our Superdogs?
Absolutely. So quick update on the standings. Connor is starting to fall behind a little bit. It's been a tough year. He's got 33 points on the year. I am at 39, and then bringing up in first place, Ryan has 41 points.
Ryan's in first.
I was in first last week, big dog.
Last week. And he picked up another point on me because he got 3 games right. He actually picked Notre Dame, which is crazy that Ryan picked Notre Dame.
Yeah, that's great.
Because both of you were like, "Fuck them." I'm like, we gotta.
My hate never stops. Like I don't let up. The hate will stay.
Yeah.
Please sponsor us. But anyways, Ryan and I both had our Superdogs cover last week. So we just got an extra point there. And like I said, the only other difference being that Ryan did get Notre Dame is the only one to go above 500 last week. Connor and I were both 2 and 3 because Connor and I picked all of the same teams last week. So
why don't you kiss? Thoughts?
We just might.
What?
We just might. So this week, there are only 2 ranked matchups this week, but there's a couple other interesting games going on this week. Obviously, this is SEC like cupcake week. So not a lot going on in the SEC other than this first game we're going to pick. Mentioned it just a little bit ago, but the Missouri Tigers visiting Oklahoma at noon Eastern. Oklahoma coming off of their biggest win of the year at Alabama. Who wants to go first?
I guess I'll go. I think I usually go first. Reluctantly and admittedly with a lot of vitriol and hate in my body, I am picking the Oklahoma Sooners. I wish I could pick the Missouri Tigers. Unfortunately, a few too many times this year, they haven't really shown me what I kind of expected out of them from early season. They had some really good performances in the early season against other SEC opponents, but right now at this point in the season, especially with Oklahoma coming off a win as big as Alabama, I think they have in their heads, hey, we have a shot here. Like we have a shot to, the SEC championship aspirations. in the playoff kind of thing. I think they acknowledge how important this game is, and I don't think that there's any way that Venables lets them lose this game at home. I'm unfortunately having to go with the Oklahoma Sooners here.
It feels like a letdown spot, and I think if Bo Prabula was playing, I would be tempted to pick Missouri.
Agreed.
Yep. True freshman quarterback going into Norman. I think Oklahoma will come out slow. I really do.
Sure.
And Missouri had a good win last week. They beat up on Mississippi State, which actually not a lot of people have done so far this year. Mississippi State's kind of hung in there a good bit, but their quarterback, Matt Zollers, 8 for 15, 112 yards, didn't do a whole lot. Ahmad Hardy ran for 300 yards in that game.
He's really good at football. Yeah.
But Oklahoma's just going to stack the box and make Zollers beat them. And he's just not going to. So I like Oklahoma.
Yep. Fully agree. It's going to be the Sooners, especially at home. There's not enough firepower on the Mizzou offense now with Prabula out. Just there's no threat of the deep ball. Like Robbie said, they're going to shove 7 in the box and dare them to throw it deep, and I just don't think Mizzou can. No. Mateer's going to do enough for them to win by 10 points.
Next up, fellas, I don't think we've talked enough Conference USA football this year. So we're going to do that right now. We got Missouri State visiting Kennesaw State. You might be asking yourself, why would you pick this game?
Why?
both these teams are 7-3 and 5-1 in the Conference USA.
Yeah.
Missouri State first season FBS is not eligible to play in the conference championship game or a bowl game, but still big implications. Shockingly, there's not a lot of information out there about tiebreakers in the Conference USA. So I did take the time to kind of set the scene for us here about the implications of this game. So right now you have Jacksonville State is undefeated in Conference USA, Western Kentucky, Kennesaw State, and Missouri State all have one loss. Missouri State can't make it, right? Kennesaw has to win out to make the conference championship game because they lost to Jacksonville State. If Jacksonville's in 2 weeks, Western Kentucky plays Jacksonville State. And this is the big game really for the implications. If Western Kentucky beats Jacksonville State, then at that point we would see a rematch of that game for the Conference USA Championship the following week. If Jacksonville were to beat Western Kentucky and knock them down to 2 losses, assuming Kennesaw wins out, we would see Kennesaw State and Jacksonville State in the Conference USA Championship game. So with the scene set, all of the implications out there for the Conference USA, who wants to go first?
Well, I just wanted to quickly I'll have Ryan go first here. I just wanted to quickly mention, Robbie, I didn't know that this got so excited. I didn't know you liked figuring out, all the different paths that we could take.
There's a great website that lets you play with all the SEC scenarios and it does all the tiebreakers for you. There's not one of those for Conference USA, unfortunately.
So you just created it.
Nice. I should make it.
It's admirable. I know. I appreciate that breakdown. Ryan, would you like to go first here?
I can go first. ESPN analytics has this at 66% odds for Kennesaw State to come out ahead. But the Missouri State Bears have been one of the hottest teams in Conference USA over the past month and a half. They've rattled off 5 straight wins. Some of them have been close games. They beat, Liberty by less than a touchdown, beat FIU. If you're kind of looking at the box scores, right, Missouri State just looks a little bit more explosive on the offensive end of the ball. I think Kennesaw State's gotten a lot done with their defense. This is at Fifth Third Stadium in Kennesaw, Georgia. So big home field advantage here. Robbie's girlfriend went to Kennesaw State, so it's tough to pick against her, but I do think the Bears are going to come in on the road and win this game. Almost a touchdown dog. I'm going with the Bears.
Robbie, I'd love to hear from you on this one.
I'm looking. If I look to my right, there's a Kennesaw State banner up on the wall, as well as another sign for Kennesaw State at home. I think they pull this one out. I think it'll be a great game. I think Kennesaw State scores a lot of points, doesn't play a lot of defense. Missouri State defense a little bit better, but I think we'll see some points put up. So, but I got the Owls. 6.5 is a lot. I feel like this is like a field goal game. I feel like it's gonna be close, but I'll take Kennesaw State.
Gentlemen, I can't say that I'm well versed in these teams. I'm not gonna act like I am, but I do see one loss on Missouri State's schedule. And granted, they've been a pretty good team within Western Kentucky, 8-2. They've been a pretty good team this year, but I do see that obviously Missouri State did have that loss. I feel like that's the worst loss out of the losses, between the two teams. And just by that, I'm gonna use a little bit of transitive property and also kind of factor in the home advantage, and I'm gonna go with the Kennesaw State Owls as well. I feel like a teams that seem relatively evenly matched in this case. For me, I tend to kind of lean towards the home team, so I'm gonna go with Kennesaw State.
Next up, probably the game of the weekend. We already talked about it a little bit in its implications in the Big Ten title race and the college football playoff. Probably an elimination game. I kind of don't think Oregon gets in with 2 losses based on the wins they have, but maybe. But we have USC traveling to Eugene, Oregon to take on the Ducks at 3:30 Eastern.
Robbie, what do you mean they beat Oklahoma State?
Oregon Sorry, that's a big time. It's a big time.
True.
I'll go first here. I keep picking against USC and they keep winning, and I almost want to change my tune on that.
Come on,
but I think we're due for a Lincoln Riley disaster class up in Eugene this weekend. Yeah. So as much as I want to see USC win, I do think we're going to win, especially being at home. I think this is in the Coliseum, be a little bit different, but again, I'm gonna lean towards the home team, and I'll take the Ducks.
I think it is hard to pick against a team at home whose only loss is currently to the number 2 team in the country. I think that's a really hard thing to do, especially with what Robbie said. It seems like things are kind of lining up for a Lincoln Riley disaster class here in my eyes. I mean, obviously they've had the loss to Illinois that doesn't look as good anymore. They've lost to Notre Dame. And granted, both of those were away games, and so because they both of their ranked matchups on the road, they lost. I think the trend continues here. I think that Oregon has a high-powered enough offense to really kind of overwhelm USC, and I do think at home here, I do think they'll kind of solidify themselves as a better team within the Big Ten.
It's going to be the Ducks. I picked them preseason. I really need them to pull through for my predictions.
Dude, mine are cooked. Like,
so bad. I had South Carolina. Ryan, we had South Carolina in the playoffs.
You talked me into that.
I had Penn State, and
I was a Lenora Stellar's believer.
Everyone had Penn State. I don't think Penn State was a bad pick. South Carolina, probably a bad pick.
Hey, I mean, you gotta be a little spicy.
Facts. Nebraska didn't work out either, but Texas Tech did.
Sure. Yeah.
Broken clock is right twice a day.
Ryan and I have Illinois too. I think Ryan and I both had Illinois.
Yeah.
It's tough.
I also had Kansas.
Picked the wrong guy.
Illinois still ranked. They're still ranked.
True. That's a good
Arizona State's still ranked.
Arizona State's still ranked.
Barely.
Go Pokes.
Next up, a little ACC action. Big implications in terms of the ACC championship game.
Who would have thunk it? Who would have thought we'd be here? It's absolute cinema.
I think as long as Georgia Tech wins, I believe they are in the conference championship game. I'm not sure about Pitt, but we do have the Pittsburgh Panthers traveling to Atlanta, take on the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets at 7 Eastern.
I'll go first here.
Please.
It just feels a bit Cinderella-y. It just feels like it's finally time for Georgia Tech to transform and be who they used to be, the big feared team that holds the largest margin of victory in the college football game of all time.
That's crazy.
The Yellow Jackets are favored by 2.5 at home. So we're essentially calling this a pick'em. Pitt has 3 losses on the year. Tech only has that one ugly loss to NC State. I think they're the more talented team. The football gods want them to be as highly ranked as possible before they play Georgia. So I'm going to have to go with the Yellow Jackets.
You know what? I think there's actually something to be said about that. I think there's something to be said about what does college football want? What does the NCAA want? And I think Ryan makes a very good point there to where they would love a last regular season game between Georgia Tech and Georgia being feasibly a top 10 matchup. If maybe Georgia Tech could, inch their way
things
up.
Happen.
Things happen.
Georgia Tech wins this game. I feel like they'll end up in the top 10. That's what I mean. Because we need it. Yeah.
So I think Ryan makes a good point there. As much as we want to convince ourselves otherwise, sports, there's a little bit of influencing sometimes. The Dallas Mavericks did not, get lucky with the number 1 overall pick. Let's just say it. But yeah, because of that, and because to what Ryan said, I think they are the more talented team. Obviously, they are at home here. I think that Georgia Tech will, in fact, pull this one out.
Georgia Tech's played real bad the last 2 weeks, like real bad. Got just the brakes beat off them by NC State. Almost lost to a really bad Boston College team last week. They were just gearing up for this game, fellas. It's all of us.
And not they were looking ahead to Pitt.
Yeah, exactly.
Georgia Tech's been really fucking bad on the road. Colorado started off the game with 3 turnovers on 3 drives, only beat Wake by a point on the road, struggled with Duke, then lost NC State and struggled with Boston College on the road. But this one is in the friendly confines of Bobby Dodd Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia.
It's cozy almost.
I got Georgia Tech. Pitt did not instill any confidence in me in that Notre Dame game last week. I mean, they just looked outmatched in every facet of the game. So I got the Yellow Jackets here as well.
There we go.
Then the last game up, a game with Big 12 implications. BYU traveling to Cincinnati, Ohio to take on the Bearcats at 8 Eastern time.
Robbie, I would love to hear from you first on this one.
I'm just so convinced that BYU is fraudulent. I'm just like so convinced that BYU is fraudulent. Traveling on the road, Cincinnati, another team that played bad last weekend. I'm trying to remember what their quarterback put up. Yeah, Sorsby 15-28 for 154 yards and 2 picks. That's not great. But he's been playing better, and actually Arizona's pass defense has actually been pretty good this year. Yeah. Again, I'm just going to stick with the home teams here. We're sleeping the home teams. Probably not a bad way to bet, anyways. I'll take the Bearcats to win this one.
Not so fast. I don't disagree with your assessment of BYU as frauds, but it does, like, they don't have to prove that to me, because the Big 12 team that I already know is head and shoulders better than everybody is Texas Tech, and I don't need any more convincing of that. So to be honest, I don't really care what happens with BYU. But I do think that they have enough talent to kind of overcome Cincinnati. Cincinnati's been one of the surprises of the year. They've been more successful than we anticipated them. But, in the last 2 weeks, they've lost to Arizona. They got hammered by Utah. Obviously, that was an away game. And BYU, we've only seen that one loss on the season, and that loss was to the, by far and away, the best team in the Big 12. And so I don't think that, other than that, they've looked pretty good. They had a huge win over TCU this last week, 44-13. Granted, they were at home. This is a tough travel. I'm not denying that. Having to travel to Cincinnati and play Cincinnati at home is a tough game, but last 2 weeks have not gone Cincinnati's way. I think BYU is a little pissed off from that Texas Tech loss, and it's going to try to cement themselves as essentially the second best team in the Big 12. So I do think that they will overcome the Cincinnati Bearcats.
Not so fucking fast.
Let's go. Let's go.
Connor, you touched on this earlier when you talked about the Big 12 is the conference of chaos this year. And when I'm looking at the old Big 12 table here, I see 2 teams with 1 conference loss. You know that can't happen at the end of the year. We need about 4 or 5 teams to all be tied and have some stupid amount of tiebreakers going into who's going to be the sacrificial lamb to play Texas Tech. Yeah, Robbie's already jonesing for it, right?
Hold on. Give me a second. I'll put it together for you fellas.
Dude, that is Big 12 to its. Yeah.
Cincinnati has put up a couple stinkers in the last 2 weeks. Do I think they're the better team here? No. But do I believe in playing at home and just Big 12 debauchery? Yes, I'm going to go with the Bearcats.
Damn, well,
here's a scenario for you guys, just thinking about the college football playoff. Right now, Texas Tech is obviously the favorite to win the Big 12 and go to the college football playoff. They have West Virginia next week. In Morgantown, could be a little spooky, but this is a very good West Virginia team. Texas Tech wins that game, gets 11-1, goes to the Big 12 championship game. If they lose, does Texas Tech stay in? They should, based on what the committee has said about conference championship games not mattering.
Right. Yeah.
But, does that have any effect at all?
This would be such a blatant, them not making it would be such a
middle finger to everyone not named the SEC and Big Ten.
Yes. But it's more of like they're completely going back on what they said, right? Like this would be the prime example of, if you didn't say that, you could absolutely leave them out. But because you drove that point home, if you went back on that, just first example, then how are we supposed to believe any criteria that they put forward?
It's true.
But but I don't believe any criteria they put forward. Like I just don't feel like they've been consistent. I mean, we remember the whole. You guys remember the whole thing where it was obviously Florida State, the whole Florida State debacle thing, where it's like if you're going off of what they did in the regular season, like I'm acknowledging that they are not a top 4 team because they didn't have Jordan Travis. Like I wasn't denying that in any like that is probably correct, but is that what you said? That's not what you said. Like in terms of what they showed in the regular season. So
if you let that happen where you lose a conference championship game, that knocks you out of the playoff. Then why play the conference championship games?
Yes,
correct.
Yes, exactly.
Because it doesn't mean you get a first round bye anymore either. So if you're a team on the
you're on the edge throwing games,
if you're just not gonna, why would you even show up?
Yeah.
What would they do? I know conference pride and everything. I get that. Like I'd be pretty pissed if Alabama didn't show up to the SEC championship game. But if you're saying conference championship would knock you out of the playoffs, then why even show up and play that game?
Yeah.
Don't.
None of these schools are in the business of playing games that don't mean anything.
Correct. Other than, the occasional paycheck game to the FCS teams. But so if we end up with a 5-way tie for second place in the Big 12.
There we go.
In case you guys are curious. Now, there's a lot of scenarios, obviously, because it ends up being conference opponent win percentage, which can get a little bit funky. Mm-hmm. As of right now, it would be Utah. They have been slightly better. It'd be Utah, Arizona State, BYU, Houston, Cincinnati.
Okay.
So that's with BYU losing this weekend?
Correct.
Okay.
What if Texas Tech loses to West Virginia? Hold on. Ooh, it's get crazy.
Gross.
If we end up with a 6-way tie at the top, you get Utah and Arizona State.
Oh my God! So wait, my conference champion's alive?
So right now, Utah has the best conference win percentage. Arizona State and Texas Tech would be tied, but then that tiebreaker is broken. Because Arizona State beat Texas Tech because their conference win percentage would be tied. Arizona State would be in the Big 12
this is actually sick.
So conference win percentage is higher than head-to-head?
When it's a multi-team tiebreaker, yes.
Interesting.
Because you can't compare it that way unless they've all played each other.
Circle of suck kind of thing. Yeah.
Right. So Utah would go to the top because they have the best. Then you have Arizona State and Texas Tech are tied. So then the tiebreaker between them goes to the head-to-head.
What's next if they didn't play each other?
I think it'd be common conference opponents if I'm not mistaken, but don't quote me on that.
Jeez. Absolutely disgusting and fascinating.
Disgusting work.
I saw a comment the other day that eventually someone's going to write a dissertation on conference tiebreakers in college football and all of the different statistics and implications of that. And it sounds interesting to me. I'd read it.
Sure.
So we're going to move on here from our pick'em into our favorite segment week to week, the Superdogs. I'll be honest with you, gentlemen. I hated everything. I hated every single Superdog that I came across this week. But if you guys would like me to, I can in fact lead us off on this segment. Ahead. So initially, I was going to pick a team that we were going to do on Pick'em, but I decided that's boring. So I am in fact going to go somewhere else. We're going over to the Big Ten for this pick. I also still kind of hate it, to be totally honest, but Nebraska.
Stole mine.
And a half-point dog to Penn State, the Nittany Lions. And I will say, this is a tough one because Nebraska is at Penn State. That's always going to be a tough game, no matter kind of, how good Penn State's been. Obviously, they only have 4 wins this year, but they've hung in there with a few different teams. Obviously, kind of the Indiana one the other week. But Nebraska has a high-powered enough offense to where I think they may overwhelm Penn State a little bit, even being away here. So an 8.5. I feel like Nebraska could keep this within a score. I feel like they've been pretty solid within the last few weeks. So I'm going to go with Nebraska as the 8.5-point dogs at Penn State.
Connor sniped mine, so Ryan, you're gonna have to go.
Tough.
I was sitting there. I was like, is this bait? Is this the cheese? I think it is.
I can see it. I can see Penn State covering though. I can see it, but oh god, he's adjusting his camera. What? Oh my gosh, what's he about to say? Hello.
We've gone back to the well a few times on this show.
No, don't do it again. Don't do it again.
The matchup's just too juicy. The pokes showed me something last week.
It wasn't What?
6 points.
It wasn't in the win column, but it showed the defense only gave up 14 points, which should be.
State.
But here's the thing. UCF is even worse than Kansas State.
Somehow yes.
UCF is 14th
yes.
in the conference.
They're
I mean,
really
this is truly like the toilet bowl of the Big 12 this upcoming weekend.
Of the Power 4. Not Big
True.
12.
I mean,
Of
yeah.
Power 4. Yeah, like
Of college football?
of college football.
Yeah. So UCF is 4-6 on the season. Those 4 wins, Jacksonville State, North Carolina, A&T, and then North Carolina, which was a shocker. They beat them by like 4 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Other than that, they've looked terrible. So UCF Golden Knights are favored by 14.5.
Mhm.
I like the Pokes to keep it to 10. Keep it to 10. You know?
God.
I guess, yeah. I guess.
I also, something that we haven't mentioned this year, and it's not something we have to talk about extensively, but should we address Bill Belichick's disappointing 4-6 season thus far at the college football
He's
level?
distracted, brother. I mean, let's call it like it is. He's distracted. He's in a young man's game, and he ain't young.
Who's really calling the shots over there? Because I think it's Jordan.
True.
Yeah, maybe.
But in a slightly serious manner, imagine coming from a 2-decade NFL dynasty to the land of college football and NIL and recruiting and all that bullshit. I just couldn't imagine is he in his 60s? He's 60.
He might be in his 70s.
70s? That's what I was like.
He's
Is he pushing 70? I just couldn't imagine trying to make that transition.
He's 73.
He's 73.
That's
him and Saban are about the same age. Yeah, that's
heinous. So not really shocking, to be honest. I just, and North Carolina just kind of sucks.
Like, yeah, they do.
In general, kind of stinky.
All right, Robbie, who's your super
since
dog?
Connor sniped my pick,
My bad.
we're also going to go back to the well. We got some Big Ten after dark. The Washington Huskies traveling to the Rose Bowl to play UCLA. The Huskies are 10.5-point favorites. UCLA's only gotten blown out by Ohio State and Indiana. They lost to Nebraska by a touchdown, lost Northwestern by 3. They got shit on by New Mexico. That's a weird one. But since New Mexico, since New Mexico
beat Penn State
in Big Ten play, they've kept them all close except for those 2 games. They're at home. It's basically Pac-12 after dark. It's going to get weird. I think the Bruins can cover 10.5. No problem. I think they could probably win this game. So I'll take the Bruins there.
Interesting. I respect it. I respect the well merchants over here. We're gonna move over into our parlays. I will once again, gentlemen, I can lead us off. I did not hit mine last week, so however units that I'm still I think I'm still up, but like I keep going down week by week, so I'm sure
I've not been keeping up with it because we haven't hit one in so long.
No, it's totally fair. I'm gonna go to my parlay real quick. So here it goes. This is my my longest odds, I think, maybe since we started this segment. So get excited for it. Missouri. I've got them covering. 7.5 at OU. I do think they have enough talent to stick with them. I do think that they'll make OU sweat a little bit. Don't know if they'll necessarily win, but I can see them losing by 1 touchdown. This is the sicko leg. There's actually 2 sicko legs, to be totally honest, but this is the actual sicko leg. We're going down to New Orleans, and we're going over to the NFL. The Atlanta Falcons travel to the New Orleans Saints. I'm taking the Falcons money line. This is one of those games.
You're Kirk glazing again.
Yeah.
You're Kirk glazing again.
A little bit of Kirk glazing, but this is one of those games that the Falcons are going to inexplicably win this year for no reason. And this just screams to be one of those games to me. Bijan Robinson's going to have 300 yards. Like, that's just going to be what it is. So I got the Falcons.
Crazy that the Saints are favored. That's
what I'm saying.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. And then the last one is, he hasn't been as solid this year. A lot of that comes down to the quarterback play, but I think he'll get one this weekend. The Vikings play the Packers. I think Justin Jefferson is an anytime touchdown scorer against the Green Bay Packers. I think that'll get one this weekend, and those odds total up to plus 1082. So there you go.
I can go next. We're all in on college football this weekend. I never hit these when I bet on them, so I won't bet on it, and this one will hit.
Yeah.
First up, we talked about their newest head coaching hire. Virginia Tech hosting the Miami Hurricanes this weekend at home in Blacksburg, Virginia. 17.5 is a lot of points. It's a lot of points. I thought about making them my Superdog, but I had them in the parlay, so I couldn't do it. But I'll take the Hokies plus 17.5. A little bit of excitement, new coach, a coach who's won a lot of football games. Big reason to get up in Blacksburg this weekend. We have number 11 coming to town, so I like the Hokies to cover there. Next up, we talked about the disrespect for James Madison, not getting ranked this week in the college football playoff top 25. It was the Washington State Cougars this weekend. Washington State's been a little spooky this year. Almost beat Virginia. Almost beat Ole Miss, weirdly.
They have had some, close ones.
Washington State's like plus 400 in this game. I'm taking the Cougars money line.
Hold on.
I feel like there's a reason the college football playoff is not ranking James Madison. And like we've talked about, none of these Group of 5 teams seem to want to actually make the college football playoff.
True.
I think James Madison drops an inexplicable one this weekend to Washington State.
Wait, that's an interesting game, actually. I didn't realize that's a... Huh.
And then the last one, we already talked about this game. Missouri State visiting Kennesaw State. Over-under is 56.5. Like I mentioned, Kennesaw has been scoring odd points, not playing on defense. They put up at least 30 in 3 of their last 4. And not really played a lot of defense in any of those either. I like the over here, over 56.5 total for that football game. That comes out to plus 1784.
Damn. Yeah, it's kind of crazy that Washington State, if you combine the amount that they lost to Ole Miss and Virginia by, it totals to 5, and they lost by 49 to North Texas. What the hell is Washington State?
And then they just have a completely inexcusable loss to Oregon State, who was terrible this year. They lost the Pac-12. That was the Pac-12 championship game, and they lost it. That's tough. Oregon State lost to Sam Houston State a couple weeks ago, and that's Sam Houston State's only win of the season.
Oh, they're 2-9.
Yeah,
they're actually god awful.
Oh wait, no, sorry. They did beat Delaware this past week. My apologies. Same Houston State.
Big Delaware guy.
All right, Ryan, what's your parlay?
Do we want to hear it? I mean,
I do want. I want to hear it.
I do.
So we're going to the NFL.
Okay.
Got 3 games.
Okay.
We're gonna try the formula until it hits. We got a cover. We got an over. We got an under. It's really quite simple. Just hit 3 legs.
Oh, God.
First game.
I don't like that you're already giggling.
Yeah, I was about to say.
I'm going to take the Bears to cover against the Steelers. 2.5 points.
3, right? Yeah, I don't hate that.
Bears are hot.
Yeah.
Rodgers is beat up. Rodgers says his playing status is a quote unquote safety thing. I think that's the Perkies talking. I don't really know.
I can see it.
Mason Rudolph. Absolute legacy game if he comes in against the Bears. So
he was good at the end of the year last year.
Tickets are $300.
Oh,
that's
for
crazy.
That game, by the way,
why?
Disgusting.
Yeah, it's crazy
because the Bears are 7-3 and they haven't been this good.
They're leading the division.
That's
in a strong division.
Yeah,
that's wild.
The Bengals play the New England Patriots.
Is a yikes game. Yeah.
We're taking the over, ladies and gentlemen. There will be so many points. Brother, the Patriots might score 50 by themselves. I don't think it's out of the... Drake May is going to have 30 fantasy points. Minimum. Absolute legacy game.
I feel like Joe Flacco could put up points on the Patriots.
Yeah. No, I agree with that.
Flacco could... They had a stinker last week against
the
Steelers.
No, Jamar Chase
is suspended. T. Higgins is going to have 3 touchdowns.
T. Higgy?
It's Higgy time.
Don't go. I should have thrown in a Yoshi touchdown score. Would have been kind of crazy. Not gonna lie.
I might go brother in our big money league. I might go pick up Yoshi for some flex help this week. Is he on the waiver?
I'm gonna beat you to it right now.
Oh my gosh!
I need the help. I just picked him up in another league, but have you seen in shambles?
Yeah, live pod fight for. Oh yeah, Ryan was also just a quick little fantasy football update before Ryan gives his third leg. Ryan,
he is.
Ryan was in fact eliminated from our dynasty playoffs, which is crazy that the top 6 in the playoffs is already established and all the bottom 6 are already out. So crazy.
You're stinky.
Crazy in our playoff.
He beat me to it. Damn it.
More because
I couldn't decide who to drop.
Live pod waiver wire.
Brian Robinson looks like CMC is just avoiding the injury bug this week.
He's going to get hurt immediately. He's going to get hurt immediately.
Ryan, what's your
Bryce Young is starting, by the way, this week for me against San Francisco. This is my absolute favorite leg. It is the shitter bowl of the year. The Raiders, in Geno Smith with his 12 touchdowns and 13 interceptions, taking on yeah, so that might be the lowest line I've seen in a long time for an NFL game.
Or whatever.
It is
36.5. I'm taking the under. I don't think there are 30 points scored in this fucking game.
I don't know how Geno Smith gets a pass off.
Miles Garrett is going to be exploring his cavity.
Like, can I bet on the Browns that have like 10 sacks? Because I might take that action. Browns over 9.5 sacks.
Yeah.
Genty might rush for like negative 20 yards.
That's actually going to be the worst game.
Dude, it's one of those games where it's like you look at that line, it's like there's no way they don't score 36 points, but you have to. Where do both of these offenses scrounge up 4 touchdowns? 5 touchdowns.
Especially with Shadur starting, yeah.
Yeah,
Otherwise, like the Raiders' defense is kind of hot dookie, so like I don't know that they can stop anyone, but it's also Shadur Sanders. So
I mean,
Denzel Ward might be good for a pick 6. I mean, I feel like you lock him in for
touchdowns.
one.
Yeah.
Browns defense first touchdown score question.
Hold on.
Wait,
Hold on. You got to take a look.
That is the juiciest leg I've heard in a long time. Miles Garrett first touchdown
you can't
score.
bet on defensive players individually for first touchdown score. Unfortunately,
That's
so
just
stupid.
fake news.
I'm kind of feeling a Yoshi and Browns defense first touchdown score. That
This is
crazy.
actually disgusting.
That might be crazy. Can I change my parlay to 2 legs and just do those 2?
That might be one of the grossest things I've ever heard. Hold on, I'm cooking up the lines on this. Yoshi plus 1900 for first tutty.
I just want him anytime touchdown score.
Okay, pussy.
Okay. Damn.
Anytime is plus 255.
Yep.
And then Browns touchdown score.
First touchdown is plus 1800.
I mean, that's a retirement lay right there. It'll plus 6600.
Good lord.
I mean, do I just sprinkle?
Can I send you $10 for that one?
$10.
Hey, that's a $600 win right there.
Yeah, right. That is wild.
That's the most disgusting thing I think I've ever entered into my phone.
That goes hard though. I'm kind of about that action.
Oh my gosh! All right. To get off of that, we're gonna move into the NBA real quick. Just a little bit of an overview, nothing too detailed here. Still at the top of the league, like we said the past few weeks, Oklahoma City Thunder are 14-1. They are the best team in the league, and it's kind of not really close right now, except for in the Eastern Conference. Got to look at the Detroit Pistons at a 13-2 record. Very admirable on that side. Shout out to Cade Cunningham. Denver Nuggets 10-3, obviously with Jokic. Houston Rockets 9-3. So obviously, even though they're missing Van Vliet, Kevin Durant is doing his part. He's making sure that team is staying up by the wayside. Los Angeles Lakers, apparently LeBron James is coming back imminently.
He played.
He did play. He played.
Almost had a triple-double last night.
Yes, this last night. And the Lakers are at 11-4 record. So, maybe with LeBron coming back, the Lakers, you got to look their way. So
the Lakers get back-to-back games against the Jazz. That seems unfair.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem fair.
Who somehow aren't the worst team in the league, not by a decent amount of teams, which is kind of insane. And then to round out the 10-win teams, San Antonio Spurs 10-4, the Cleveland Cavaliers 10-5. I want to look at some of the league leaders currently. We'll look at the top 5 in points. Luka Doncic, 34.6 points, leading the league. Tyrese Maxey at Philadelphia 76ers, 32.5 points.
That man is on my starting lineup for players to start a team with.
You did.
Shout out Maxey.
You noticed that Connor didn't mention where they're at in the Eastern Conference right now, You notice he didn't throw that out there, right? That they've been
What?
fading a little bit here recently.
What? Number 3, we have Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, 31.9 points a game. Number 4, Giannis Antetokounmpo at 31.2 points a game. Number 5, Donovan Mitchell, 30.9 points a game. I wouldn't say this is necessarily, none of these are huge surprises, except for Maxey at 2. I think that's very, shout out.
Maxey at 32.5 a game is pretty crazy.
That's a lot of points. Looking at the defensive side of things, we're looking at rebounds here. Jokic at 13.4, Victor Wembanyama at 12.9, Cat at 12.7, Domantas Sabonis at 12.3, and Jalen Duren at 11.9 for the Pistons. He has been hooping. He has been helping Cade out to make sure the Pistons are the second best team in the league currently. On the assist side of things, Nikola Jokic, 11.1, Cade Cunningham, 9.9, Josh Giddey, who's been playing very, very well in Chicago at 9.4, Luka Doncic at 9.0, James Harden at 8.7. Gentlemen, blocks through 14 games, Victor Wembanyama is averaging 3.6 blocks.
You might want to hand him the trophy now.
Yeah. You might want to. Ryan Kalkbrenner.
Remember when it was like unfathomable for like a player to average a triple-double? Like it only happened one time and then Russ did it and it was crazy. And now Jokic did it last year and
he just
on
does
pace
it
to do it again. Like
if he doesn't average triple-double, it's weird. It's like what? How are you?
It's crazy.
No, it's actually absurd.
So, and off on a tangent, just talking about Wembanyama here, because this is a podcast, we need to discuss all these things. What do you think Wilt Chamberlain would have thought seeing Victor Wembanyama's bag?
He probably just would have tried to back him down in the post. I mean, I
think he would have called him a witch, Loki.
Yeah, anybody back then.
Like Wilt was dropping 100 on plumbers.
Mm-hmm.
What's Wemby doing?
Yeah. No, he's already doing this against the talent that's in the league right now. So, what would he be doing?
Like, who gave that man permission at 7'5" to have anything sort of a bag plus a 3-point shot?
He's shooting over 30% from 3 too.
Like, what are we doing? Have we gone too far?
Was he made in the lab? Is he configured to be the perfect basketball player? It kind of feels like that, but yeah, I don't know. He's just, it feels like he is just consistently rising up the best players in basketball day by day. And, if you want to make an argument so far this season, I think it's hard to kind of argue against him as one of the best players in the NBA currently. Robbie, I did want to shout out Ryan Kalkbrenner at 2.2 blocks a game. Shout out the Hornets.
He's cooking. There. The rest of the Hornets are not. They're currently losing by 22 to the 1-13 Pacers. So,
oh my gosh, yeah. I can't really say much. Dallas Mavericks 4-11. I've stopped watching Mavs games. I've actually stopped.
I haven't tuned into the Hornets all year, brother.
Through the beginning of the season, I was watching some Mavs stuff, but yeah, it's not.
It's a tough watch.
I feel like I've probably watched less than 10 Hornets games since Kimball left.
That's crazy. That's kind of, I guess they were never in the playoffs. That wasn't a shot. That sounded like a shot.
No, I mean, kind of bad fan by me, but also, would you subject yourself to watching the Hornets?
No, especially
Probably
before,
not.
The team before LaMelo got that. Remember when y'all had Hayward and y'all thought Hayward was the truth, but he wasn't. It was just.
I mean, Gordon Hayward is the truth, but not when he's the best player on the team.
Yeah.
Terry
Rozier though, he was good. He was good for a year.
And now he's in big trouble and going to jail probably.
Exactly. So we're gonna move on to the NFL here real quick, getting back into football. Actually, I have a quick little segment, gentlemen, that I like to do. Won't take up too much of your time. I only have 5 entries here. Here's what I'm calling it. I'm calling it Truth or Fluke, and this is NFL edition. So essentially, I'm going to give you a player or a team, and most of them have, most people would consider them having overperformed this year. And basically what you're going to tell me is, are they the truth? So basically, do you think they'll stay at this consistency, stay at this level, or are they a fluke? Is this a one-off kind of thing? Or are they really not as good as maybe their record makes them out to be, everything like that, or their stats make them out to be? So number 1 on the list, NFL truth or fluke, Puka Nacua.
He's played enough games now where it's truth.
And people will say, when Stafford retires, what is Puka going to do? I don't really know that I'm too concerned about Puka Nacua without Matthew Stafford. I do think he is the truth.
Yeah. I think I would agree with you. I used to be not a Puka hater, but I wasn't a Puka believer. And then this year's happened, and I've been like, it's kind of impossible to not be a Puka believer at this point, to be in all honesty. Number 2, this is a team. Truth or fluke, the Denver Broncos.
Fluke. I'm just not a believer in the Denver Broncos. I know they just beat the Chiefs again last week, and they keep winning these close games. We talked about it last week. They're going to make the playoffs, and they're probably going to lose their first game.
Okay, Ryan? Okay, a good answer.
I think it's a really good year. I think the Chiefs are down. The Chargers are also playing well. The division is very, very strong this year. I think they're playing about as well as they would hope to for this current team, unless Bo Nix takes like another step forward. It's really close. I'm struggling if I want to say it's a fluke.
My concern is that Bo Nix has not played well this year.
Yes,
but they're still 8-2.
9-2. But yes, I agree with you. I agree. My concern, they're fluky in the fact, I just don't think they have the offense to do much of anything in the playoffs.
RJ Harvey, though.
Looking nice.
Hold up now. Next one.
I say that. 11 carries for 30 yards isn't great, but,
Tough. Next one, truth or fluke. Daniel Jones. Quarterback of the Indianapolis Colts.
You're going to tell me I have to pick one or the other, right? I can't say he is who we thought he was.
I'm going to go with truth.
Oh, okay.
He's off the Giants. He's escaped the bad G-men in New York. And you know what happens when people get off the Giants. They actually start playing football.
So does that mean Jackson Dart is goated? If he's already playing pretty
decent.
Not going to lie. Daniel Jones is Kirk Cousins. Thoughts?
Elaborate. I'm going to need some finer points on that.
He's in that tier of quarterback. If there's a good team around him, he's going to win football games. We've already seen that. But you're never going to be like Daniel Jones can win me a Super Bowl.
I think Daniel Jones might have a higher ceiling, mostly due to the fact that I think he obviously is better on his feet.
Yes.
And he can, he's a little more creative, I would say. I think he can get out in space and make more plays than Cousins ever could. So, but
the only thing I'd give Cousins over him is the toughness factor, though.
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins is a tough dude. I don't know that Daniel Jones is on that level of mental fortitude and physical toughness.
Yes. Agreed.
But,
goat status.
I also agree with truth, but then again, Daniel Jones is who we thought he was, I think. So
yeah. Next on the list, this is a second to last one. Drake May.
He's him.
I mean, he's been the best quarterback in football this year, maybe.
Agreed.
I think he's him.
I think he's the truth, but here's my thing. I think all the things we're saying about Daniel Jones this year, we would have said about Jaden Daniels last year.
Cook. Actually cook.
I got to see it for more than one season. I got to see it for more than one season. Now, Drake May is probably going to win MVP if the Patriots keep winning. That's a little bit different than Jaden Daniels, no doubt.
With a leading receiver who's 32 off an ACL tear.
Okay, it's Stephon Diggs, though. It's Stephon Diggs.
Okay, still Unk.
Yes.
Fair. I'm going to say truth, but I do want to see it for more than a season. Because the same, we
I agree.
crowned CJ Stroud a top 5 quarterback after 1 year. We didn't. Some people did. Jaden Daniels last year, you would have said Jaden Daniels was the truth. Hasn't played that great this year. Now, injuries being what they are, sure.
Yeah.
But you got to see it for more than 1 year to crown him as a top NFL quarterback, in my mind.
Yeah.
I mean, he just played like a rookie last year. I mean, it was very much like a...
he for sure.
Yep. He had 15 tutties, 10 interceptions, his number, he's literally halved the interceptions and doubled the touchdowns. He's just so good at reading defenses this year.
And he's leading the league in passing yards this year. So
yeah, it's crazy. So Ryan obviously thinks he's the truth. Glazing Drake May over there. And then the last one on the list. The Chicago Bears, are they the truth or are they a fluke?
It's the Bears.
That's what I gotta say, man. I don't believe in Caleb Williams.
Yeah. It's hard to say that though after they're 7-3.
No, we just did. I
fair.
still think they're going to beat the Steelers this weekend because Rodgers isn't playing. But like,
yeah.
Would you rather have Caleb Williams, DJ Moore, Luther Burden, and multiple others, or Bryce Young?
Give me Iguodala.
Now, I do think, because obviously, throughout the season, the Bears have had a pretty easy schedule. So let's go through their wins real quick. Dallas Cowboys, the Las Vegas Raiders, the Washington Commanders, who I believe were Jaden Daniels in that game, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
The New Orleans Saints.
He played in that one.
Oh, excuse me. Okay, so that maybe they're one good win. The New Orleans Saints, the Cincinnati Bengals, the New York Giants, and the Minnesota Vikings. Their schedule has been atrocious in terms of their wins.
Miracle to beat.
Why you got to say the Bengals like that?
They need a miracle to win that game. The Colston Loveland play was crazy.
Yeah, and they still gave up 42 points to the Bengals. Yeah, and through the rest of the season, they have the Eagles, the Packers, the Browns, the Niners, and the Lions. Like that's the test.
One of these teams is not like the other.
Yes, you're correct. You're correct. But the rest of those teams, like those are not easy games. Like that's going to be what sells it for me for the Chicago Bears. So right now I would say Fluke because their wins are so bad. But yeah, I don't know. It's kind of where I'm at. Moving on, thanks for doing that with me, gentlemen. Moving on to kind of this Week 11 review. Robbie, what did I say? Carolina Panthers, get in, baby. Division win 30-27 over the Atlanta Falcons. Unfortunately, Michael Penix did suffer an ACL in this game.
How are you doing, Connor?
Yeah, it's not good. It's not been a good recovery period for me.
We were talking about in the group chat before the podcast that we thought we were just going to do an hour and a half of Connor just like sobbing about Michael Penix. Now is your time. If you need to get anything off your chest, we're here for you.
Michael, I appreciate what you've done for that organization so much. I'm a big fan. I'm a really big fan. I know
that's his third ACL tear.
Is it really?
Yes.
Is it the same leg?
Different knee. This is a different knee. He tore the same one twice in college. This is a different knee, but it's his third one.
Oh my God. I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
And he's old.
Yes.
Well, he's not old, but he's like,
old
for a new quarterback. Yes, for a new quarterback. Yeah. So, please obviously rest up. Hopefully he gets the treatment that he needs, which I know he will in the NFL, but hopefully he can come back and be better than ever. But obviously in the meantime, Kirk Cousins is going to end up being the replacement. So we will see how that kind of fares. But yeah, no, shout out to the Carolina Panthers for taking this divisional matchup.
So here's the problem. It's like every time I'm out on Bryce Young, he like does this.
Pulls me back in.
So I think I have to stay out on Bryce Young. I think I have to still stay out. Panthers franchise record 448 yards. The last Panther to throw 400 yards was Cam Newton in his second game of his career. If you remember when Cam came in the league, his first 2 weeks he threw for over 400 yards. Never did it again. Kind of crazy. Here's something I want to bring up about the Carolina Panthers as well, is just looking at kind of the playoff picture and things. Panthers on the outside looking in right now. They're probably not going to make the playoffs. But right now, ESPN only has them at a 15% chance to win the division. They're only a half game back of the Bucs.
I was about to say, that feels a little disrespectful.
And they play the Bucs twice. And their division record is now 2-1, if I'm not mistaken. I cannot believe they didn't beat the Saints. If you beat the Saints and you're 3-0 in the division, it's kind of nice. But
it's kind of nice.
We'll see. They're in the division race. They're in the playoff hunt. 9 wins in sight. First primetime game since 2023 this upcoming week.
Come on,
Things are looking up.
Loving the Panthers. So, going through a few more of these games, the Los Angeles Chargers with a very kind of weird game against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Justin Herbert did not play well in this game. 35-6. Jaguars did take it over the Chargers. The Jaguars are also kind of one of those weird teams this year where they have some good wins and some losses they shouldn't have. So we'll see how that kind of shakes out.
I feel like the Jaguars are always that team when like a West Coast team has to travel all the way east and play, that they always throw up a stinker in Jacksonville. I don't know why, but it's always Jacksonville where the teams throw up the stinker.
No, I think that's true. And we spoke about him previously, but Puka Nacua and the Los Angeles Rams. The Rams are the best somehow the best team in the NFC West, I would probably say this year. They're 8-2 currently, had a big divisional win over the Seattle Seahawks. They're playing out of their minds this year with
Darnold 4 picks, and they only lost by 2.
Darnold. Yeah, but like Stafford's still playing well. The offense is playing well, but yes, the defense obviously coming in clutch this past. I didn't realize 4 INTs. Golly, Sam Darnold. Hold on to the
Would you rather have Jackson Smith and Jigba or Puka Nacua?
Oh, right now or like if I'm starting a franchise?
I'd say going forward. I think it's probably the same answer because they're both young, right? It's not like one's older and one's younger.
I was about to say, yeah.
Puka's probably a little bit older, right?
I think I would go JSN just because he's proven that he can do it with multiple quarterbacks at this point versus just Stafford finding his favorite target.
Puka is 24, and
keep in mind the JSN is 23 still. If I'm not right, yeah, 23.
That is correct. Yes, he's 23.
It's crazy. I would also take JSN. I would agree, but it's close.
I
think they're both top 5. So
yeah, I don't know. That's a tough one. But yeah, some of these games this last weekend were just kind of sicko. Yeah, as we said, Bears beating the Vikings 19-17. The Buffalo Bills, Josh Allen having 6 touchdowns, 3 passing, 3 rushing to go over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I never want to watch a game like the Cowboys-Raiders game. You know, it was a great game for the Cowboys, but it was just kind of gross. The whole game was just kind of disgusting. You know, the Raiders are maybe the worst team in football. Geno Smith is so bad.
Yeah, I said it.
I said
crazy. I've been on the Geno's not that good.
You did say that.
Is he a JSN merchant?
Question mark.
But JSN wasn't even that good when Geno was from a statistic perspective.
What's Kenneth Walker up to this season? I own absolutely 0 stocks of him in any of my leagues. Was just curious talking about the Seahawks.
The Seahawks he's
been pretty good.
Want to be like the worst fantasy team for running backs. I don't really get it, but like they randomly mix in like that third running back. It's not even Charbonnet who like gets touchdowns too. What's his name? George Holani, like had a touchdown 2 weeks ago randomly. Like I don't know.
Gentlemen, do we need to have a conversation about CJ Stroud because Davis Mills is currently carrying the Texans to wins? So what's going on? Is CJ not that guy? Are the Texans? Does the O-line hate CJ Stroud because they seem to be doing better when Davis Mills is in the game?
Did he give them a bad Christmas present last week?
Yeah.
Has anyone looked into what CJ Stroud got his offensive line last year?
We need to look into that.
Couldn't have been great.
I think it might be one of those things too. It was a pretty new offensive line, and maybe they're just now kind of gelling, if you will.
Sure,
it's very possible as well. And also, their beginning of the year schedule was just terrible.
Yeah, for sure.
But we'll see. Is he back this week? Anyone know?
I think that he's questionable. I'm not sure if he's 100% back. But
also, you see Davis Mills is carrying them to win. So they beat the Titans by 3.
Carrying.
W on the calendar. That's all that you care about, man. It doesn't matter.
That's a dub.
It's a dub. And then the last game I'm going to talk about real quick, a lower scoring affair than I think anybody would have predicted. The Eagles beating the Lions 16-9. The Eagles going up to an 8-2 record after having a little bit of a shaky start, not necessarily from a record perspective, the start of the season, but just from everybody being like, how have you guys, been 4-0? You guys could have lost every game. So, and then, like we said before, the Chiefs, obviously are missing something.
Are the Lions fraudulent?
No, but I just think a lot of the other teams in the NFL have just kind of like risen to their
when is Jude coming on next week?
Yeah, next week.
Okay,
we'll talk about it then. Yeah, we'll say that for then. And like I said, the Chiefs losing to the Denver Broncos 22-19. Chiefs might not make the playoffs, which is absurd.
You say
I don't think that they don't make the playoffs at this point.
They're still in the hunt technically.
They look poopy. I mean, as much as I can break it down mathematically, they look poopy.
Which is funny because Mahomes is actually playing pretty well.
No, he's pretty decent. Yeah, he's been playing pretty well this year. But apparently, I actually saw because I was watching something today on the TV in the gym where it was like the Chiefs are running the ball 40% of the time, which is like 23rd in the NFL. So it's just they have no run game to depend on.
Pacheco's been out too, but Pacheco's been bad this year.
Yeah, he also has been.
He looks like he's moving through wet fucking sand. But I'm looking at like the AFC playoff picture, and you have the Texans, Chiefs, and Ravens at 8, 9, and 10, which is I don't think where we would have predicted them at the beginning of the year.
Literally, everyone was like, "Those three teams are in AFC, championship conversations." Like all three of those teams. That's crazy.
Like we look at the bottom 5 in the NFC, right? The Cardinals, Falcons, Commanders, Saints, Giants. 4 of the 5 of those, we've been like, yeah, give or take any order, we expect those. Commanders are obviously kind of struggling with injuries.
I don't think we expected the Falcons to be 3 and 7.
Yeah,
sure. I expected them to be 4 and 6. I mean,
I would have said like 4 or 5 wins.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't know. So interesting playoff picture the way that's shaken out. And then the last thing here we'll cover. We're going to look over at some of the Week 12 matchups in the NFL. Speaking about the Chiefs real quick, obviously, the Colts are going to visit the Chiefs. Colts been one of the best teams in the NFL this year. I mean, I think that's the make or break game for the Chiefs. It's like if you lose the Colts,
this feels like a game the Chiefs are going to win.
Yeah, I think I agree.
A home legacy game just to like, hey, we're still here. Knock.
Exactly.
What does their schedule look like the rest of the year?
I was just looking at it. They have some easier ones. So Colts this week, they play at the Cowboys. Can the Cowboys stop Patrick Mahomes? Yes.
Which one?
Chiefs, Cowboys, Thanksgiving. Yeah.
Yes,
Mahomes is gonna absolutely moonwalk on the Cowboys. National television.
Texans, Chargers, Titans, Broncos, Raiders. So they're gonna beat the Titans. They're gonna beat the Raiders. Should be the Cowboys.
I mean, the rest of those games are not easy.
I feel like they split the Chargers and Broncos at home. They win at least one of those.
See it.
So that puts them at. We say they're gonna beat the Colts this weekend. 1, 2. Texans. To me, the Chiefs could finish out the year like 6-1, 5-2.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
4-3.
Yeah, yeah.
4-3. You're not in the playoffs.
Definitely not.
No, definitely not. So Ryan talked about it earlier, but obviously the Sicko Bowl between the Cleveland Browns and the Las Vegas Raiders. Don't watch that game. Just don't watch that game. Obviously, also,
if you like defenses, you should watch that game.
Yeah, exactly. Also within one of our parlays, the Atlanta Falcons, New Orleans Saints. Don't watch that game. That game is also probably going to be terrible.
The thing is, the tickets for the Browns Raiders game are higher because it's in Vegas, right? The minimum ticket is $105.
Yeah.
But if you wanted to, you could go to the Jaguars Cardinals game for $16 whole. Just a thought.
And talk about some of the bigger matchups this coming up weekend. We do have a divisional matchup between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Dallas Cowboys. Eagles probably going to win that one, but it's always a little tough when it's a rivalry like that and you've got to travel over to Dallas. So we will see how Philly handles that. We have another divisional matchup between the Buccaneers and the Rams. That's actually a very big game.
Not a divisional matchup.
Not divisional. Dude.
If I'm not mistaken, the Buccaneers, I think, were in the NFC West at one point. Or is that the Panthers were at one point?
I didn't know that.
There's some weird ones like that.
Sorry, not a divisional, but conference, whatever. Buccaneers and Rams playing each other. Obviously going over to, speaking of the Panthers, they are playing the 49ers. They're traveling to San Francisco. So Robbie, how are you feeling about that one? What are you looking for?
So just some fun facts about Panthers and Monday Night Football. This is only the Panthers' third Monday Night Football game since 2017. This is the first time they've played a team not named New Orleans Saints on Monday Night Football since 2017. So it's a big game for the franchise. Big game for the franchise. I feel like they probably lose going all the way out there. Although, with it being a Monday Night Football game, you don't have to travel as close like when you play, kind of thing. But I'm out on Bryce Young. I'm out on Bryce Young.
Just keep saying it.
Just gonna keep saying it. So we'll see.
So that kind of wraps, and there's a few other matchups that we don't really care about. They're probably going to be below. It's like the Giants, Lions, Patriots, Bengals, Ravens, Jets, everything like that. So that wraps up for this week. Next week we will have not only a guest, but it will be kind of a Thanksgiving themed episode because we're not going to be filming on Thanksgiving, but it will be releasing on Thanksgiving. So I will definitely bring some Thanksgiving-esque segments for next week, and we can have some fun with that. So that wraps up for today. Thank you guys for listening. Rob, you want to sign us out?
Yeah, for myself, Ryan O'Connor, thank you for listening to another episode of the Bros and the Berg podcast. Please go like, subscribe, comment, all of those things. TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. I don't even know what other social media platforms we're on. I think there's a Twitter, but I don't think we use it. So
yeah, we don't
go follow that one too. Why not? But once again, thank you for listening, and please gamble responsibly. Unless you put in a bet on the Browns touchdown score defense first one, that's gambling responsibly right there. So put that in.
Yeah.